Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now on Equa TV International, and today on the show, you know what we do. You know, we look at the happenings in the country, and then we X-ray them. We bring all angles, and then we discuss, and then it's open. The reason why it's open is because you are involved. You know, in our social media handle, the Facebook and the YouTube. That's where you send your own view to what we are discussing. That makes it all encompassing. You know, you add your voice, and then we add ours, and then it gives the program more flesh and more acceptability. So do well to send us your feedback on what we are discussing and what you feel the way forward, and then together we'll X-ray and then find solution to how Nigeria should be shaped. I have Joyce Jakada with me on the show. Joyce, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Sambu Solomon. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we thank God because God is faithful.
Of course.
And then today we have the issue of oil well adding to the Nigerian National Oil Reserve, if you allow me to say that. And then we have the issue of debate because of the 2023 election that is coming. And then the spokesmen of the gladiators exchanging words. You know, some words are palatable, some are just there, but you know, the season, definitely you should expect that. You know, is a time whereby you hear so many revelations, counter accusations, you know, and so on and so forth. But it's our duty to go and dig and then look deep into it, and then bring angles and then verify all those things, and then give the viewer out there the option to make the choice, even if we are contemplating. So today I just want us to look at the issue of the new discovery of oil in Gombe and Bauchi. Let me put it that way. You know, few days back, people are jubilating. People of the north entirely were happy because of the new discovery of oil in the north, and then in particular people of Gombe and Bauchi. After that, now is the issue of where does the oil well belongs to, you know, either in is it in Bauchi or in Gombe? That's the issue now. Is it the right time? If I may ask.
Well, if you ask me, I will say that there is no right or wrong time to a discovery, but the only problem is when we start having fights, when we start having competition. Like this new oil wells that we're talking about that is bringing issue right now. Gombe is saying that the wells, Kulmani wells, oil well belongs to Gombe, and then Bauchi, people are also claiming that it's actually belongs to Bauchi State. And it just makes me to start thinking back. These are natural resources. Why is it that our natural resources that are supposed to be blessings to our nation are turning out to become a curse? Like, we should be rejoicing that this is like an addition to our natural resources. This is like an addition to the wealth of the nation. But what we are seeing is people are not even talking about the major issues, which is like when you look back to oil production states like the Niger Delta region, there are issues that they are going through. Beyond the fact that oil was discovered in their region, there's issue of criminality, there's issue of oil spillage, there are so many issues. Recently we've been talking about how Nigeria as a country has been losing how many barrels of over 750,000 barrels per day. And then instead of these regions now to start thinking, okay, how can we curb these issues that Niger deltas are facing? Because if there's a discovery of oil well, of course you should be thinking of the pollution that is going to cause to your water, the fact that you cannot farm. How can we mitigate that? We should be seeing conference seminars trying to enlighten the people, trying to see how that they can mitigate against all these problems that might emerge from this this oil, and then how that they can take advantage of this oil when the production starts fully. But what we are seeing now is fights. What we are seeing now is competition. What we are seeing now is not even like people coming together to collaborate. If we are saying Kolmani 1, that's the is in Bauchi, and then 2, 3, 4 is in Gombe State, how can we come together to ensure that things work out for the benefit of the people? But what we are saying is competition. No, it should be here, it should be there. And I ask myself the question, why in the same region, Bauchi, Gombe was carved out of Bauchi State. And these people are more like attending, will I say, going to the same market, like brothers and sisters, like you're from the same place. And instead of coming together, rejoicing and all of that, we are seeing fights now emerging. And I was thinking about it, and I said to myself, it's like we want to still tore the parts of what we are seeing in Niger Delta, obviously. Because when you check the issue of the oils, what we have oil, but we are the same as a nation, we are still importing crude oil. Like we're producing and we're importing it. You get, and then you start asking yourself question, we have oil, sorry, and then we're importing crude oil. And then you start asking yourself question, why are we having all these issues? Corruption, greed. And then so because some people decide that they are the ones that are supposed to eat the wealth that are coming out from this oil. No wonder that today we're thinking of, we're seeing discovery, and then people are fighting. Maybe people should note that in that same new oil well that was discovered, about 500 billion cubic gas is there. And then 100 billion barrel is being explored in that same place. And as we speak, the project has already attracted $300 billion investment already. No wonder maybe the fight about it should be NNPC. That's actually said that oil well is supposed to be in Bauchi. It like belongs to Bauchi. That's because he's from Bauchi State.
Yeah, he's from Misau.
Misau in Bauchi State. That no one that he's late actually. Yes. That he's the one that made it so. But actually, Kolmani 2, 3, 4 belongs to Gombe State. He was even mentioning the word and even the local government that it belonged to. And I say, and I will continue to say, people have come out to say that our natural resources are curse in disguise, but we can actually make it to become blessing instead of the curse. What we should be seeing right now, Gombe and Bauchi coming together to collaborate to see how that it can mitigate against the problems that might emerge. Cross River has oil. It's one of the oil producing nations. Like it has oil, but it's one of the states, like the poorest states. So do we want to tour the same path? We should learn from these other regions and start thinking of how that the problem that bedevil this region will not bedevil us. I think that's the direction that we should be looking at as a nation. Not fighting, not trying to come up with argument is for us, is Nigeria not one nation again? That's imagine Bauchi and Gombe. Let me allow you to talk. You're from Gombe. You explain to us.
Well, you know, I was just looking at you, listening keenly, you know, and then that emphasis, imagine Bauchi and Gombe. Yes, like you rightly said, you know, Gombe is being carved out of Bauchi. And then, you know, when you talk about autonomy, you know, all the states, you know, constitutionally, they have their own rights and privileges. So I believe, you know, they really want to exercise that and said, okay, this area, you know, like you said, the South, the oil producing state, they have their own issues too. They have issues of oil well, you know, wrongly allocated to, I think just of a recent, you know, River State government were able to receive one, you know, which they went through the legal way, you know, and then finally the well now has been allocated to River. Before it wasn't Rivers. So and like you said, yes, this is supposed to be something that the entire North should be rejoicing. And then the two states that are involved now are beginning to give a wrong signal. Are we trying to say what happened in Niger Delta, you know, the issue of militancy, the issue of agitation, the issue of oil bunkering, you know, and the rest, because all those are things that, you know, made those elements to be so, let me say, so glaring to a point that it becomes an issue that the federal government think, yes, this is an issue that we need to tackle. If not, it will even affect the nation. And it does. You know, that's why Niger Delta Commission was there in order to bridge the gap, you know, of infrastructure and the rest, you know, in Niger Delta. It's because of all of this issue. We're supposed to go back and x-ray all that happened then and say, we are not going to talk that way because already we have the experience. We can't say today we don't have the experience, you know? We can't. Like you rightly say, we're supposed to be seeing seminar and say, okay, this is the negativity attached to it, and this is the setback, and this is what it will cost the state and even the country at large. So how can we avert that by doing the right thing? By saying, okay, this is how we're supposed to go about it, so that people will learn. Because all I'm saying, I suppose we're supposed to see people now saying, oh, I didn't mean, you know, people of Niger Delta, you know, taught the way of Gombe and Bauchi, this country would have been better. Let's see people now, you know, oil producing state learning, you know, from your own approach. Because in this digital world, you have all, in this digital age, you have all the experience, you have all the data, it's out there, that you can say, okay, let's do something differently, that even the world will say, yes, that is the way to go. And in subsequent discovery, you know, it will be easier for people to say, okay, Gombe and Bauchi have shown us the way. Because if you say this thing that we are having there, you know, we can bring ourselves together and then see how we will develop the two states in such a manner that people will not even separate and say, I'm in Bauchi or I'm in Gombe, simply because you have agreed to come together and said, this is the wealth of our people, not particular few people that call themselves cabal, that they feel once things like this are being discovered is meant for them, they're the ones to enjoy. I feel it's wrong. Now, I don't think it's something that they really need to like fight over, because the National Boundary Commission is there, which I feel they are in the right position to do the needful. And then...
And they are quiet at this point. Are we waiting till the issue escalates into something else before we do something about it?
But you know, they have to put an official document to them.
Then I think
as far as I'm concerned now, it's just the media aides and then whoever, they are just talking on their own, and then the media pick it. And I think the reason why media are picking it is because if we don't attack it now, it's going to be even worse.
That's why Sambo Slomo, I'm saying this, that this issue should be addressed. The earlier, the better. Since we have agencies that are in charge of determining where belongs to what and whatever, I think it should be done. We are not the only nation that is producing oil.
For crying out
Saudi
loud.
have oil, UAE, Dubai, and all these places, if you go, they are well developed. You won't even know that this is the state that has oil, or this is the state. Everywhere is developed. They don't even have one particular state that is capital. Today it might be this state, next tomorrow it might move to another state, so that every state can feel the development and also have the impact of the oil money. Let's not keep going back and forth about things that's own, it is their own. When there's something, when something comes up, what we are thinking of is not even how it is going to be useful to the common man, to everybody. Nobody is even thinking about the effect on the average person that is living around that community. People are already thinking of themselves, and that is why you start hearing, no, it should be here, it should be there. I think we should outgrow this, me, myself, and my family. If we outgrow this and think the bigger picture, which is Nigeria, I think we are going to be great.
I agree with you, Joyce. I agree with you. And I'm assuring you, Bauchi and Gombe will definitely do the needful.
You're speaking on behalf of your mother, mother state, right?
Yes, because I can't imagine me being in that saga, you know, because we study what happened in the Niger Delta. You know, the issue is one of the reasons why Niger Delta today is underdeveloped, because of all this issue of and I like what the member of Bauchi State Assembly, you know, said. He said, you know, youth should not be dragged into this. They should be careful. And I agree with him, because before you know it now, is the youth will be dragged into this that they don't even know the real thing that is on ground, and maybe engage into violence simply because some people are beginning to paint pictures, you know. So I feel like you rightly said, we should do the needful. Let's do the right thing now before the wrong information will get to the youth that are willing, are ready to have things like this, so that the elites would use them for their own selfish reason. And I know Bauchi and Gombe will do the right thing that will shock the world positively. I assure you. You know, and we have public debate, you know, the media debate, you know, and then
Town hall series.
Town hall series, and then one of the gladiator is missing.
You know, if you ask me, I would say this like the third series of the Arise Town Hall series. Like, this is the third time we're seeing that, and obviously the presidential candidate of the APC is absent. But if you ask me, it's a loss to him, because when town hall series like that are organized, it's for every presidential candidate to be present to say what you're going to do that is going to be different, because everybody is coming to talk about issues. These are issues that are bedeviling the nation. Like this season 3 or the third series actually focus on health, education, poverty, and human capital. And then we saw how the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, talking about Atiku Abubakar, was present. We saw that of NNPP, Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso. We also saw that of Labour Party, Peter Obi. They were all seated, and they, like, if you ask me, they did beautifully well. All of them talked about how they will address the issue of education, how they will address the issue of poverty, how they will attack the issue of healthcare, and even human capital development, which is very key. And then they actually anchored on the fact that Nigeria as a country, as that today, have actually failed in achieving its target of poverty reduction, because as we speak, about 133 million Nigerians, which is 63% of our population, have been thrown into poverty. And then these people were brought together to ask questions on how they intend to deal with poverty. And then I listened to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party talked about focusing on education, on healthcare, and he also talked about investment in human capital. And when you do that, you're going to be able to address that of PDP. Also spoke the same thing. And even like when you listen to them, you see how they are keen into what each other is even saying. And question was also asked on the fact that recently the president said that most governors are pocketing local government funds, which have added to even the poverty index, because no development is being felt at the local government level. And when you check, about 70% of our population live at the rural areas, and then these areas don't feel the impact of governance. And then I think it is very important. The way they all spoke, it was beautiful. But like I said, for the one that was absent, they lost to him, because people are expecting, even if you had issue with the media station, that is not the problem, because you should be able to avail yourself to tell Nigerians what you can do for them in terms of all these issues, because these are issues that have been up and about. And even the issues of the ASU strike, they were asked questions, and then all of them, I listened keenly to presidential candidate of Labour Party talking about the ASU strike, them going back to the agreement that was signed in 2009, looking at the ones they can like pay, then restructure some of these things, that instead of allowing it to linger for long. And on the issue of the local government funds, like they are going to create a system whereby money will be sent directly to the local government, and that can only be achieved if the law too is being amended, because the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, made mention of the fact that during their tenure, when he was the vice president, at some point that he was standing for the president, within the 9 months, he was sending money directly to the local government, but the governors came up with case against him because it was not right, it was not lawful, and they brought it. So he talked about the fact that the law has to be amended. And for education, they talked about bringing the children out of the street and taking them back to classroom. And I listened to Kwankwaso talking about the fact that they were going to engage private sectors, and he even applauded Atiku Abubakar for even having private institutions, but he told him what is more important is to reduce the school fees so that the children of the poor can also have access to, because it's not about having the private institution. Our federal institutions have been on strike for a long time, but yes, the children of the poor are at home. Why? Because they cannot afford most of these private institutions. We need them, but the cost is very high. So even if we have them, the cost must be dropped so that other children of the poor can actually have access to those schools. So I would say that kudos to the organizers of this town hall series. It wasn't like a debate to counter or counter who, but it is an opportunity for everybody to talk about what he's going to do, especially in the area of the education, area of healthcare, the area of poverty and even human capital development. As a nation, we're losing a lot, billions of naira to medical tourism. And they talk about how that if our facility are properly funded, equipped, then there will be no need for that. And they were also made to say if they are going to prioritize and patronize our own hospitals here. And I listened to all of them saying, yes, they would, but except on cases of referral. And how do we know when it is referred or not referred? Well, Nigerians watched keenly, and people have taken note, and they are going to hold it against anyone who emerged as the president. More importantly, if we address the issue of human capital development, I think we're going to be addressing poverty as a whole, because if we engage people in skill acquisition and they have the technological skills, creative skills and all of that, they won't have time to go into crime. We're going to be reducing, because even the education, if there's no security, children will still be at home. So with human capital development, I think we're going to be even addressing the issue of insecurity, and at the end of the day, poverty is going to be reduced to the barest minimum.
I agree with you. You know, the beauty of this town hall series is helping Nigerians to really see a direction where, at least at the end, 2023, when the election comes, at least they can comfortably say they are voting someone that convinced them. Like you rightly said, yes, to him, he may just feel like it's just one of those town halls meeting that he don't really necessarily have to be there, because they will tell you jingles are out there. You know, his spokesperson is out there, you know, telling people what the principal officer would do. Some of them feel that is okay. But I'm telling you, with all of this awareness that is coming, I want to assure you that it's not business as usual. Nigerians are following, like you said, they are moving with their pen and paper, like with book, not even paper, like something that they take note so that they will keep, and then they will follow up to that. I assure you, if you look at the nature of the debate and how even the candidates are responding, you will know that they have stepped up. That's one thing that I noticed. I noticed that they have stepped up, because before now, they don't talk about real issues. Even when you ask them, they don't respond like truly they want to govern. But I can see one of them now have put others on their toes, and they begin to see, okay, I think Nigerians really want to hear real issues. Let's talk. Let's discuss. What do you want to do for us? And then tell us, how do you want to achieve that what you said you would do? So people are really following, and I think it's very key. It's very important. I call on Nigerians, come out, you know, and then ask questions, you know, where you feel there are gray areas. Ask questions, because as is your right, you need a response from somebody that needs your vote. you're coming and you say you will need my vote. If it's important, then tell me what you will do for me, and then tell me how you want to achieve it. And then I know there are media stations out there that are really trying their best, projecting the problems of this country. And then Equa TV International is one of them. We are here to really project some of these issues and to say, ask so many questions that Nigerians are asking, and by that we'll prove, yes, a solution as well. And then we encourage that, make sure you clean your PVC, keep it where it's safe, that you can access it at any time, because 2023 election is going to be a determinant whether Nigeria really want to change for good, or we want to remain the way we are, like allowing
the beauty of democracy is providing good governance, and good governance is seen in securing lives and property. As we look forward to 2023, I think every hand should be on deck to make sure that we bring in people that are responsible, people that have integrity. We are not cursed as a nation. It is because we keep electing irresponsible people, and that is why we are where we are today.
I agree with you.
The needful must be done come 2023.
Well, I'll take it from there. The needful must be done come 2023. Thank you for doing this with us. See you tomorrow, and bye-bye.